On today's episode of On the Bench, we ask, is your network fast and up to date for your workflows? With editorial speeds getting faster and ever larger, with demands for footage from 8K cameras and now 16K hovering in the distance, and don't forget HFR and now HDR, we ask, is it time to ditch fiber channel and give Ethernet another look? Now, if you're ready to consider a low latency Ethernet solution, then today's show is for you. We brought in the fastest switches available to mere mortals from Mellanox, and we're going to show you how Mellanox has you covered today and well into the future. So let's put Mellanox on the bench and see what they're hiding inside. Okay, so when was the last time you bought a network switch? And when you bought it, did you only buy what was needed at the time? Well, we should all be running gigabit by now, and many of you are only now just buying into 10 gig. So it's rare in technology, though, that when we buy, we get to buy for the future as well. I mean, how often can we look into the crystal ball and see beyond what the latest technology is and say, can I have that now? Well, that was until Mellanox came along. Now today we have the SN2100 from Mellanox, plus a sampling of cables to make it all work. But first, Mellanox. They began in 1999 with a focus on InfiniBand, which at the time was the fastest element on Earth, at least for carrying data. Now, in order to make the fastest data transfers possible, they chose not to use the existing chipsets available on the market, but build their own design from the ground up, ensuring the fastest performance and the lowest latency. Now, Mellanox later took what they learned in the InfiniBand world and turned it to Ethernet. And now they offer the fastest, highest performing Ethernet switches available in the known universe, as far as I can tell. Okay, so now that you know why the Mellanox switching platform is better than the rest, let's look at these particular switches and talk about why they make crystal ball gazing today's reality. First, speed. When gigabit hit, sharing media across the network finally became a reality. Fast enough to edit proxies and compressed formats, but not without enough hiccups to keep users on fiber channel. Then 10 gigabit became more affordable, and now we see it as a standard in edit suites, on the new Mac, and on many storage arrays. For the past few years, 25 gig has been looming, but only for those with discretionary spending cash. But did you know that 40, 50, and even 100 gig Ethernet is now available? Sure, you're not going to find it on the shelves at your local electronics warehouse, but you will find it on the switch we have on the bench. Okay, the 2100 has 16 ports of 100 gigabit. Now this is FTL, people, faster than light speed, capable of burning a hole in your patch bay. And there are few systems that can take advantage of Ethernet this fast, mainly NVMe storage arrays running software layers like Accelero's NVMesh. Now these are pure SSD arrays that skip the SATA interface and shoot straight for the warp drive of the PCI Express bus. Accelero's NVMesh allows the downstream computers to mount and manage the unheard of speeds getting forced down their pipes. Stop, I know what you're going to say. I don't have anything that can handle 100 gig right now, but each and every port on the 2100 can be used as 100 gig. It can also be used as 40, 50, 25, or even a 10 gig port. So you can now buy an Ethernet switch that will take you from 0 to 100, literally ensuring you are covered for now and whatever comes next. Now let's talk about port count. If Moore's law states that more is always better, then if all you need is 16 ports, why not get 32? Who knows what the future holds and how many ports you'll need? You may end up needing 64 10 gig ports. Mellanox developed their ports and these amazing cables to split each 100 gig port so that it can be used for more than one connection. With this direct attach cable using QSFP technology, I can connect 4 10 gig, 4 25, or even 2 50 gig downstream devices. So this switch with 16 ports 100 gig can transform into 64 25 or 64 10 gig ports, all in a half rack design, which is truly more than meets the eye. And after all that talk, if you're not convinced you need that much speed, but you want to know your next flux capacitor will still be able to connect to the switch, the 2010 offers 18 ports of 10 or 25 gig, but also has 4 100 gig ports, so you can support higher speed uplink connections. This means you can upgrade your storage array, giving a fast lane to the editors with the fewest connections possible. Again, you're covering yourself for whatever the future brings. What I like about Mellanox is they consider the whole Ethernet chain, not just the switch. They have HBAs for your computers and servers, SFPs and direct attach cables in both copper and fiber in custom sizes. With Mellanox, you can be assured the best performance and management of the whole Ethernet system. Hey look, a few years ago, 4K editorial was a pipe dream for most of us. But when was the last time you bought a standard HD camera? 4K is now the norm, just as 8K and eventually 16K will be. With Mellanox, you can prepare for your future and focus on what you're going to create, not how to make it possible. And using their switches ensures you have the fastest connection always available. All right, this has been another episode of On the Bench, and we'll see you in the future episodes, that is.